everybody,
and welcome to
artist wife, writer husband podcast,
starring me, Artist Wife Midnight,
and me, writer husband Neph.
and not really featuring you. Welcome our co-host,
Yeah.
MDC.
Who's this bang?
Oh,
We're back.
Yes, we are. Sorry if we don't sound too energetic.
Oh boy,
A lot has happened this year.
we're just in June.
We haven't.
Birthday month.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy
okay.
belated birthday.
Oh.
We haven't really had the chance to record like that. Kind of ran out of topics, sort of.
Not really. We ran into a wall that is COVID.
Yeah. This was supposed to be like the part where we invited friends over to interview and stuff like that. Yeah, that really didn't end up happening as planned.
the convict wall.
We actually recorded some Let's Plays. I'm gonna later post entire Let's Play where we beat Streets of Rage 4
So much fun.
from beginning to end.
That was so much fun.
But it just kind of felt weird, even though, to be honest with y'all, I feel like Streets of Rage is the perfect game.
It really freaking is.
to describe these times and whatnot. Like, there's this one part
Oh
where
gosh.
we end up in a prison and we just started beating the shit out of policemen.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And then there was a scene where just the police were beating the shit out of like everybody in the background,
Yeah.
just fucking them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
But yeah, a lot has happened, man. For me personally, it's been some ups and downs with me creatively, as I'm sure for a lot of people. I know for me, one of my biggest things, like I had shared with Anna, was in what ways can I share like my talents in writing to like help out the protests and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're really passionate about that. Our ice making machine, not our ice making machine.
It was weird because I heard it, but then I heard like the footsteps at the same time, so it made it sound like there was someone actually back there.
Oh yeah.
That's why I looked back there. But yeah. It's literally like I was joking around before the recording, and I was saying that this is literally like our recap episode because so much has happened with the world and whatnot. I mean, just like there has been a few episodes since the whole coronavirus, since the COVID, since the lockdown, but I'm pretty sure none of us would have thought that it would have lasted this long.
No.
Well,
I expected it to last to September because as more details emerged, as a lot of us were able to learn about what this means to be in a pandemic and what this virus is and how long it typically lasts, and then how it happened pretty much exactly 100 years ago, and how 1919 and 1920 Spanish.
I think
Spanish,
1918 originally.
1918 and 1919. I don't think it lasted 1920.
Funny thing you put Spanish in parentheses because actually I don't even think it actually even originated from Spain.
No,
It
Yeah.
originated from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I knew the actual name. But we grew up with the books or whatever have you that said it's called the Spanish flu, and so it's like
Yeah.
Right. It was just the Spanish was
I
the ones that was vocal about it. So everyone just assumed that it came from them,
there,
but it actually came from our country first.
Yeah. So it's like once we became more informed, it was like, oh no, okay, if this lasts until September, that makes a lot of sense. Because, and then
I mean, it's just wild,
it just
man.
sucks because
Like no one, like all the old heads and stuff I know, never experienced anything like this before.
Yeah.
And whatnot, and I'm talking as if it's over, but it's not.
No,
Right.
it's actually
that was
just
maniacal.
first stages of the second wave. Like Florida just reclosed.
Yeah, they have to.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
We
Yeah.
hit 2 million. Like what was it?
Like last time I
week?
checked the numbers, we was like 1/4 of the cases and 1/4 of the deaths in the entire world.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy, man.
Bro,
Yeah.
how do you? It's like we're a bunch of nations. Sorry, nations. We're a bunch of states that is one nation, all trying to handle like millions of people. I'm not even excusing anything. I already knew we were gonna fuck up the whole thing because
God damn.
Republicans, bruh.
I mean,
Well, you know,
like they fucked up in the beginning.
They
Like,
did.
Let's be
Let's
honest.
just be
They really
honest.
fucked up in the beginning. Like they seriously.
Mitch McConnell, sorry, I can say it. No, I can say
dropped
his
the ball.
motherfucking name. Mitch McConnell has said recently.
Bitch McConnell. Like,
Bitch McConnell.
Yeah, just recently said he doesn't feel the urgency of the coronavirus second wave effects.
I guess you don't in your millionaire house. Like, I
Right?
mean,
Of course
Yeah,
you
bro.
don't. You
It's-
live in a house right now.
It's crazy because I mean we had in the past you know, at least with us living through it, H1N1,
Yeah.
swine flu,
Yeah,
SARS,
yeah.
and whatnot.
those felt like
I
a
didn't
far
even
away
know
thing,
that
to be
the
honest.
it did, but I didn't know like the swine flu literally killed thousands of people in America
Yeah,
and whatnot.
it did. Yeah.
It was something that honestly we just joked about back then. I was
But then,
We
you
were
got
kids,
swine
right?
flu. Yeah, flu. Well,
Well,
yeah.
we kids
I
or
mean,
was like
teenagers or
teens,
whatever.
yeah.
I was
I
like,
still
you
do this.
either eating cow or you fucking them. I mean, eating pig or you're fucking them. Like, either one or the other.
but sure, I mean, just think about the
I
fact
didn't know it was
that
that serious.
all of us were born probably at the height of the AIDS epidemic. You know?
True.
So it's like, you know, I always think about like one thing. It's amazing. I think I was sensing. I'm like, pretty soon, there's probably we're probably gonna have our own version of the AIDS quilt, because you know back in I think that was the early '90s, if not the late '80s, because you know the response to
That sounds so
AIDS.
familiar.
Yeah, the response to AIDS from you know the Republican Party was pretty slow, and you know this became a you know, and there was this humongous mural made on the National Mall. It was these I believe it was three giant quilts that were sewn together called the AIDS quilt in memorial of everyone who had died from AIDS.
Oh yes, I remember.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like we're probably due for another quilt for COVID because you know, I've never in my life thought I would ever hear doctors and nurses or medical workers dying in the line of duty. Like that doesn't even register. It's like, how are doctors dying on the job? You know, it's like,
it's like a little battlefield, and it's just like.
I mean, like when you really take it into consideration in those hospitals and stuff,
It is, right?
doctors are it's literally the front lines, but doctors are some of the most stressed out individuals.
yeah.
Dude, before this, they were already stressed.
Yeah.
And the medical system is already its own tangled mess.
You know, and the messed up thing about all this, probably in like 2 or 3 different situations, I realized how messed up our medical system really is. You know, we had like the situation with the accident with 2 people we knew. Then I remember this one night I came across someone who had cracked their skull in the concrete outside the hospital, mind you. And so when I went up there to get help, they basically was like, "Oh wait, he's across the street. We can't intervene." I'm like, "What? Y'all just sent this man out of here though." It's like, "No, you had to call 911." I'm just thinking, I mean, y'all can't like give me a gauze or something, like, and someone, yeah, it has. Someone described it to me or explained it to me. They were saying that you know, DC emergency is just a mess, and I don't even remember all the details. But long story short, it needs to be fixed because this actually cost a person their life. Because I think like a couple of years before that, maybe prior that year, maybe earlier that year, this man died outside of a firehouse because they couldn't intervene because of how laws are set up about that or something.
Why do we have laws that prevent medical workers and safety individual? I can't use the words right now, but why do we have laws that prevent them from helping people?
You know, and like I'm trying to figure out why the heck we got laws that defund hospitals in the first place. It's like, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I'm not so, and that kind of hit home because you know I have a partner that's a nurse who did in fact contract COVID. She's recovered, thankfully.
Glad to hear.
But the thing about I want to point out here is that not only is she a nurse, not only did she contract COVID, but she, on her spare time, was making her own masks to sell to people. Because, there ain't enough medical masks going around.
Yeah, that was.
Because, hospitals are like underfunded. Underfunded as hell, mind you.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have a freaking president who wants to defund the CDC and fire half the pandemic response.
And the I forgot what it was called. They're in charge of making medical equipment as well. They're in charge of they make medical equipment for jobs and places that are like that literally require hazmats and stuff like that. They make those things, and that was defunded as well. I do not remember the name of it, but it's pretty much biomedical gear, more PPE, pretty much.
Okay.
Like this has been happening in the past 4 years. We're in the 4-year mark. Yeah, we are, right? Oh God, thank you. But it feels like it's been like.
It feels like one long year.
Yeah,
it feels like one. These 4 years have felt like one long year. Like every time I remember something, I'm thinking, damn, that was back in 2016. That was in 2017. Like,
right. Someone brought up when Obama was president. I'm just like, Obama? Like, wait, when was that? 2016? Yeah, he was still president. Oh man, jeez, bruh. Feels like it's, bruh. 2020 feels horrible.
2020 has definitely been the ultimate test. To me, 2020 has basically shown. 2020 to me is, I had to be a little ironic, like 2020 vision of who people really are at this point, because we've been dealing with this madness for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
And now it's funny, it's like now with everything, it seems like everyone's like extra vocal finally. But at the same time, it's like I often look at people, I'm thinking, the way you react to this kind of shows you what you've been doing for the last 4 years. I went on a major. I mean, we haven't gotten started on this show tonight, but I went on a major rant on Facebook. I had been gone off Facebook for like a whole week. That's rare for me. I'm usually on Facebook at least, once every day, which honestly ain't the healthiest thing. But long story short, that is, people know me for being on Facebook. So I hadn't been on Facebook for about a whole week. And because I just got sick of everybody. Like literally everyone from every corner was pissing me off. I felt like everyone was being a hypocrite. Or, it's a long story short. Now I mean anyone directly, but just when I mean everyone, I mean every team of people, every group, every, whether they were progressive, vegan, Christian, Satanist, I don't care who you are, you were pissing me off. Everybody was. So I took a break because I saw myself snapping on people more. And I didn't want to just snap on a friend, and cause, and end the friendship or whatever. So let me take a break.
Yeah, for your mental health, bro. We need that.
Yeah.
We as black people need that break from social media, from everything. Because social media is pretty much the news to us right now.
Yeah.
It puts all of that in our face.
Yeah.
Even and amplified because it puts all people's opinion in your face too.
I mean, it's like
huge advocate for
like we're gonna get into everything. But it's like with COVID, right? I was saying, we talk about it as if it's over, and I know, I'm pretty sure for some places, they entered phase 3 already, but in here in PG in Maryland, or at least in PG and DC, we've yet to enter phase 2, right? Mm-hmm. And whatnot. I think it's supposed to be in phase 2 next week or whatever. And it's crazy because you kind of get this whole air, and I've been joking about it, that it's over, and whatnot. Like, I go outside when I go to work. I see people, walking around. They don't got their mask on or whatever, and
they go jogging.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, I understand jogging and walking and whatever, but I mean,
they all are there, and it's like, move away.
people trying to like justify going into places
Yeah.
and not wearing their mask and whatever, and that's excuse me, that's it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what it reminds me of? A couple of years ago, I saw that I saw some article. They was talking about how AIDS was making a comeback because people just aren't taking it seriously. It's quote unquote over, because the numbers haven't been as high. So people are like, oh, okay, everyone that had it is dead now, so I guess there's nothing to worry about.
Right.
It's like it's kind of the same thing with COVID. It's like no one said it was over. They start opening up stupidly, but we all know the reason they had to open back up because they had fumbled this whole ordeal where they couldn't.
Money.
Yeah, they fumbled this whole ordeal where they couldn't stay closed. I'm saying this wrong. Because the response was crap, we would have to have been closed a lot longer, and they never enforced people to stay in their houses. So ultimately, they had to make a choice and open back up when it wasn't ready, and now we had to close back up all over again.
Let me be honest. I feel like there should have been a national call for lockdown. It shouldn't have been a if you want to kind of thing. No,
Yeah.
because it shouldn't be a if you want to save lives. No, you're going to save lives because collectively,
But
people.
that's the whole thing, right? It happened at a time when the Republicans was in power,
Yeah.
and Republicans are against that. They're against the federal government overstepping their boundaries, despite
Yeah.
how Trump feels. Where Trump can feel where he can tell states when to close or when to open or
Right,
whatever.
yeah, and then they start clapping and cheering for him.
But
Oh man.
yeah, he doesn't have that power, and Republicans don't want the federal government to have that power.
But the crazy
power
thing.
to control people's. They have the power to stop people from making more money from jobs that definitely need wage increases, from funding schools. They have the power to defund schools all they want. But you talk about defunding the police, which is something we already do with a lot of other important life-saving programs. Oh no,
Hospitals.
overstepping. This
Right.
is stupid.
But the thing about it also shows how stupid and short-sighted they are because it's like, okay, you want to save the economy? Okay, cool. Shut everything down now. Let this crap run its course so we can open up sooner. But since they refuse to shut this thing down or lock everything down officially
Yeah.
and open up too soon, guess what? Second wave is coming.
I miss Bernie. I miss Bernie Sanders.
I miss people who read books.
Bruh, I know, right?
Golly, and that's one thing I ranted about. I just, like I said, because I was so sick of seeing people. I have a rule about not just Facebook in general. If a specific person has corrected you about 3 times, maybe you should reevaluate how you get information.
Yeah.
I got so damn tired of seeing people with their stupid conspiracy theories and all this nonsense and them posting crap from fake websites and all this
Shit
crap.
from years ago.
Things from
Oh,
years
man,
ago.
Don't even get me started on the whole 5G thing. and whatnot.
Yo, that was a whole thing that came
really
and
annoying.
went.
Like I had to have conversations with my coworker about that because it was just crazy, man. It was crazy. It was like this whole event went from okay, there's going to be a lockdown. Okay, people making TikTok videos, TikTok challenges.
Hell yeah, saw bored in the house and then in the house.
There wasn't any toilet paper
Oh
or
god.
supplies
That
for
fucking
a
sucks.
really long time, and
Food,
then people
noodles, gone.
just started getting like cabin fever,
in
and
under 2 weeks.
Under 2 weeks.
yeah, people were getting cabin fever. They were demanding, that they needed their haircuts. They were
Demanding with guns.
yeah, and
Ooh, those guns pointing at.
and we're just looking at it, and it's
You guys
like
can see my face.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, okay, you guys are really acting like that. People like literally crying. White women on social media crying because it's been like a month
Open up bars, open
since
up
the
restaurants.
lockdown.
It's not
You're
fair,
stopping my
favorite
kids
restaurant.
from becoming social. My kids
did
need
hear
to
that.
be social. Like, bro.
The school's the only place my children can socialize.
Shut the hell
Wow,
up.
you don't talk to your children. Oh, and then the worst part of all that makes my blood boil and just makes me so sick to my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Let the old people die.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
that was.
Bruh,
that
let me
was
tell you
I don't have
something.
anything more to
thing.
say on that because I just
Open up the economy, or
even politicians were pretty much saying that too. Like, oh,
with their old asses.
it's only one third. Only one third of the people would die.
And I want to put it this way. I'm gonna be bluntly clear. My 90-year-old grandparents are way more valuable to me than these old young idiots around here. I'm gonna be straight. I think I speak for me and like probably all my cousins around my age. We will freaking kill you for our grandparents. Do not fuck around. They're two of the best people on this damn planet. I'd be damned if I'm gonna let some racist piece of crap and all of us say that they need to die for this whole effed up economy that ain't really helping nobody.
That
Like,
isn't helping
seriously?
anybody. Die for who?
Bruh.
For America?
What?
Bruh, they're not
America.
even. They're not. You got the Republicans, right? That's in there and whatnot, and they're like, "Oh, we're trying to wait it out and see, and whatnot," before they decide to give us like another stimulus check or
Bouncing from their
some
three
type of
houses in their
universal
states.
based income where you got the feds. And understand, don't get it misconstrued. When you hear about the Federal Reserve, there's nothing federal about them. It's not a government organization.
Not in the slightest.
They're just printing out money. Like I think it was like somewhere around like I want to say between 60 or 70 billion dollars that they put into the American economy because it was like everything was going down. I invest in stocks, so I was literally watching it. Like a lot of my stocks were red. Then you just see it like turn
the
green
Dow.
at one point and whatnot. And they're like just literally giving all this money to companies, and it's only helping out companies and people who invest in them. But for the people who need the money and they don't have money to invest in stocks and whatnot, because they're just trying to eat and trying to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills since I was told not to work and whatnot. They don't know what to do. They literally don't know what to do, man. It's
they were.
it's crazy.
The Federal Reserve was like, yes.
The Fed is like, please give the people stimulus, give the people money so that they can spend it on in the economy or or whatever. And the Republicans are just like, well, we don't really want to raise the national debt. Man, fuck a national debt. It's going to be worse.
It is worse. It's not. There's nothing you can do.
Because you have the fear of the second wave coming and whatnot. If people get money, people aren't getting money to spend it and
So
whatnot.
glad we
People
have
getting money to try to hold on to it.
Yeah, of course. No one wants to see. First of all, people press to go outside, right? People want to go to the beaches. People at the beaches now. My sister just put it out there. My sister just talked about going to the beach, and I'm just like, I want to go to the beach too. I don't want to be around people, but also it lingers in the air. It lingers around groups, surfaces that you touch, even if you don't touch it, it's there.
Yeah, man.
It's not just gonna.
And it sucks.
You can't see it, so it doesn't exist.
It's like I don't know. If some people are like thinking about it, like okay, it's just gonna be like a common cold or whatever. Like one of our friends, he had got it, and he was like, dude, it sucked. He could barely breathe, and when you get tested for it, that shit looks painful
Oh yeah,
alone
it does.
and whatnot. And it's like, yo, if you can't avoid it, avoid it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day and whatnot, because it's like your chances of surviving it becomes higher, if they do, make a vaccine for it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's already not a super strand, I don't know if it's a super strand, but irregular strands going about that target children
Right.
under 8, and they've been dying from it.
Yeah.
And it's terrible because somebody exposed that child to COVID. Somebody who didn't take it seriously, somebody who tried their hardest to take it seriously as best they could, but they went around someone who didn't take it seriously, whatever, and killed their child.
Yeah.
I hate that so fucking much.
Right. And then to go on with what you were saying with the news and stuff on social media, it got to the point where it was like, for me, like the stuff that you were watching, right? The supposed credible news sites, they were like
Hyping it the fuck up, wrong
Right.
information.
exactly giving out wrong information
They
and whatnot.
showed a
And
hospital from Italy saying it's in New York and this is how bad it is right now. Ooh, spooky, spooky, scary, spooky. When you do shit like that and you're proven wrong, first of all, using fear tactics to get news, disgusting. People are terrified right now.
I'm sharing this shit, and then I'm finding out like oh no, this is wrong and whatnot. And like me, I fucking hate misinforming people. And it's like you just at the end of the day, you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You literally don't know what's real and whatnot. So it's like I had to like stop, and I had to fall off of. I mean, I wasn't checking the coronavirus every day or whatever, but it was like I just kind of had to take a break from social media as well, because it was just becoming too much and whatnot. Like every news feed, it was something sad and whatnot, and that takes a lot of energy
Yeah.
from all of you and whatnot, especially when it's like misinformation.
Yeah.
I thank our friend Darren because he
Or disinformation.
He had biomedical scientist. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what you said you were, Darren. I forget it every time you say it's big words, but he's been out there making sure people know the facts, commenting on posts, making a whole post, and then continuing the thread of information. I appreciate and love him for that because it's scary.
Dude,
It's
let me
scary
tell you
when don't
something.
know what's attacking you.
Fighting misinformation is a whole new war in itself. I think that's
I feel for the doctors.
yeah, that to me, I feel like it's the third epidemic out here. I feel like right now we probably have like 3 epidemics, and that's probably the third one because misinformation, frankly, is
Stupidity is a disease.
yeah. That's why we have the administration we have right now, because people believe bullshit. People share bullshit.
But he's so popular.
Popularity does not make something good to all you fools that keep saying Marvel's all of the shit.
But he runs businesses. I'm giving you the dumbest accent I can do because
It's like,
are they good?
because I can't
can't
tell
run
you how many times like someone posted something and I backtracked that and it was like, nope, you gotta take that down.
Holy shit, guys. Holy fucking shit. My skirt has pockets. No, I have to stop this. My skirt has pockets. This world, no, there's hope. Guys, there's hope.
Her skirt has pockets.
Her skirt has pockets.
Everybody, all my ladies understand. All my
All the
ladies
single
understand.
ladies. All the single
I'm
ladies.
crying.
All the single ladies.
I just
all the
was
single
like, hey,
ladies.
what's this line in my... Is there 2? There's 2. It wasn't a
That
fluke.
would be so weird if it's just one
It
packet.
would have been weird.
I
can understand one back packet, but not one side.
I hate
packet.
one back pocket.
this company?
I have pants with one back pocket. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. I hear have pants where it's like in the middle.
Okay, I'm gonna just put myself out.
No, that exists.
It's like more so like jogging pants or
Oh,
jogging
okay, then
shorts.
yeah, those are weird though because it's not even
It's like to punch your phone.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But it's not even like on the wet part. It's at the brim line.
Yeah.
So it's like right
Or
here.
like the tailbone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really weird. Sorry, I'm just so happy.
It's okay.
But honestly, on that, I want to point that out because I saw a post that said earlier, it said perfect. Despite everything going on, don't feel bad for being happy about things.
Yeah.
The other day I saw some pictures that showed Martin Luther King just doing random stuff. Like they show him at the beach, show him playing pool, show him just hanging out, and it's like this is one of probably the most stressed human on the planet around that time.
Yeah.
And here's pictures of him still enjoying life despite everything. And the point that person made, it's like, don't feel bad for being happy sometimes despite everything. I mean, after all, our ancestors went through slavery and still managed to sing and dance.
That's true.
So, I mean,
So,
despite as hype my aggression has been lately, I mean, I've still been enjoying life for the most part,
yeah.
Yeah, and you know us, MDC, we got kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't let it affect us like that.
Yeah.
And this is me, like, because we're gonna get into, Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. We just getting this COVID stuff out the way first.
It's nice to be able to talk.
I can't like, I talk about when stuff opens back up or whatever, and going to that, and my coworker would be like, yeah, not me, not with all this other stuff, and I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to live my life in fear,
Yeah.
and like, all we can really go on is what the CDC tells us or whatever, I'm gonna still have my mask. I'm still gonna do, the 6 feet boy. I'm gonna do all of that, the whole nine, or whatever. I'm not gonna stay locked up in my house. Like, you had some people that actually believe like the whole lockdown thing was stopping them from getting out the house or whatnot. Like they couldn't walk around.
Oh yeah, I saw those questions all the time.
On the sidewalk
Can I
or
walk
whatever.
my dog? Can I go outside on my porch? What about my backyard? My kids need sunshine.
Yeah, and the thing about it,
Take your kid in your backyard.
well, you also have people gloating like, I don't know what y'all scared of. We outside. It's like no one said you couldn't be outside.
I mean, shit. Unfortunately for me and MDC, with our day jobs,
Yeah.
we had no choice.
Yeah, we literally we're
been
essential.
outside, like the most out of everybody. Out of some of my friends that work in the government, they just been home all this time. Like,
Yeah.
shit, it's literally been the same. There's been no difference.
Yeah.
With me, traveling.
I got to work quicker.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You get to work quicker, and for me, feels like working a Saturday.
Hell, I prefer to be at home. Like, like I wish that I was locked at home. I would have gotten a lot done. It's like, you're an essential. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm like, really?
Yeah. Did we bring that up last time? You know what they mean when they say they want to go out. They want lockdown to be over so they can get their haircuts. They wanted you to service them.
Yeah.
You to open your stores back up so that they can be pampered and serviced and top
Listen,
customer service.
I learned to cut my own damn
For
hair.
the rest of essential workers, my entire family's been working. No one. Well,
Yeah,
some of those that don't work.
we're all essential workers here, and then when you have the dumb white politicians that's trying to figure out why COVID is high in our areas and in our populations, because we're still fucking essential, bro. We're still for the people who can't take the metro. I mean, who don't have their own private transportation, they got to take the metro.
Yeah.
They don't know, who cough, who's on the trains or whatever. But speaking of that, one of the things with me seeing this, where I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about, is you see more homeless people now in DC. Like, in the sense of they're not like they're not in the crowd anymore. It's like when I go to downtown or whatnot, that's all I see. But something else that I see? I see the people where they look normal. They're not homeless. They're dressed, in clean clothes and whatnot. But when you talk to them, you can tell that they're suffering from a sort of mental illness. And that's something that, no one really talked about.
Yeah.
Where you have doctor offices closed, or in certain situations, how are people with mental illnesses dealing through all of this?
Yeah.
That needs to that need the medical help, that need the what was it, the treatments and stuff like that,
and government assistance.
Yeah,
I mean,
treatments.
they closed the buildings
Exactly,
down,
government assistance and stuff like that. Like we've had a lot of people come into our building where you can tell that something was up, and you can see on their face that they were distraught, and you then want to make the situation worse because you want to protect yourself, and whatnot, but you don't want to for them to cause a scene or anything in the building or whatnot. But I really feel for people like that, because it's they really had to suffer. They coming out their houses and whatnot, walking around, and you see them talking to themselves, and that was something that I've not heard once. I'm not saying that it hasn't been talked about, but I know on social media I haven't seen anyone bring that to attention.
I don't think I've seen anything about
how
it.
are people with mental illnesses coping throughout this situation?
How are we helping them? What is in place? I hope there are things in place. I wish it was more awareness, because my feed I make sure that I try to get as much information about everything that I can, because I want to know. I want to know, how are we handling this? How are we handling people who, they're high functioning? Is that the term, I believe? Where, they can function in society and take care of themselves, but not completely. How
Right.
are they? Who's helping them? Who's
They
making sure
need
they're okay?
medication. They need,
Assistance, check-ins,
assistance,
and things
I
like
guess
that. They
therapy.
need social. They need to socialize.
right. And you got, a lot of people that wasn't trying to interact with people because of the whole COVID
Yeah.
situation and whatnot. And that was just something that I, realized going to work every day downtown.
But it's also amazing that despite all this thing, it's just amazing how rotted some people's brains are with these damn conspiracy theories and whatnot. Not even so you got people out here that don't even believe that there is a virus. And I'm thinking, you can't hide something like this. I know, like I said, I already brought up, my partner's a nurse, but I also know other nurses and other people that work in the hospital field, and they are talking about what's going on there, and it's freaking insane.
Right. They literally suffer. I feel like it's something that's real.
Yeah.
These people who suffer from, like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
But
Yeah.
then, in the beginning when they were saying that, I'm like, they're saying it's our government. I'm like, so what reason would governments all across the world, countries all across the world, need to be in on this?
But then the same
How
people-
does that help our U.S. like enemies to U.S.
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, it's the New World Order.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it's the New World Order. The reptilians.
Yeah.
The reptilians where there's never been a single dead body of a reptilian ever seen.
Having to going away from the reptilian, having to explain some of that information to my children, I have to turn into a joke for the younger ones because, they're children. They need in a way for it to be told differently to them. So
Yeah, to them it's like,
they'll come to me and be like, "Is the coronavirus over yet? I want the coronavirus to be over so that we can go blah 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 blah."
and do stuff again.
Yeah.
Because they're done with school now.
Yeah. Not a
But-
single stomach.
Yeah. and whatnot.
the
They had
older
just
ones-
like a kind of like an early summer vacation, basically.
Pretty much. Like, the oldest loved it, but then they realized what it means for the most part. Like, our oldest thinks that he can just glide through all of this. It's okay. Play with my friends on Fortnite. I love that he can do that. Go outside and play. Do something else. But, it takes a toll on our more, our more physically sociable daughter. She misses her friends. She was really sad that the school year ended and she didn't say goodbye to any of her friends or whatnot.
Yeah.
She was really sad that she didn't get any of their numbers. She doesn't know any of their, like, if she had said, if I knew that we were going to leave school early, I would have asked them for their something information. I was like, email could have worked in a way. It's like, I wish I had thought about that for her, because, that sucks.
Yeah.
But she understands how dangerous the virus is and how important it is that we try our best to, and they all do. They're sad. They're like, "Can we go to the playground yet? Can we go to the playground yet?" It's like, no, don't touch the playgear yet. Even if the playground is like people can go to it now, I'm still a little bit iffy. Like, did anybody wash these down? They didn't. Who's gonna come to a neighborhood and just spray a bunch of random playgrounds for kids to be safe and not die from
Like
virus?
every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean,
if
you
we
still.
had something like that.
I say don't live your life in fear, but still be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about being aware of things. I mean, I consider myself a very paranoid person where,
That sounds like a bad thing.
well, when I say that, dude, also look at it like this. It's like, when I'm out walking, I usually look over my shoulder like periodically. And as paranoid and crazy that may look, I'm like, let me tell you something. It's kept me alive and kept me out of situations.
Hey, don't feel weird for that, because me and Anna, we went walking earlier,
He kept doing that.
and
the
she'll
whole
attest to
time.
it. I have to know my surroundings.
He
Like,
was literally
I don't.
whole body movement, turn around while we're talking, turn back. And
If
I'm
I'm
just
on the
like,
metro, if I'm walking around, I don't walk around with both headphones in my ear,
God, I
both
wish I
earphones
could
in
do
my
that.
ear. I have to have one out. I have to make sure I hear someone, walking up on me, or whatever. Like,
'Cause the
I just
people will
always
try.
got to be aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people will try it. They will always try it.
So, when it's like being cautious, like in the pandemic, it's just another thing. It's like just be aware. Like at work, like, see, because of the job I do, I can't really wear gloves. It just wouldn't work for me.
Why? Oh, it's because you're gripping, like,
Yeah,
Bigger
it's
balls
it's
and
it's
stuff?
like gloves are just make it entirely impossible. So I just go to the bathroom and wash my hands periodically and hit it up with sanitizer. That's like the best way I can handle it.
Do you bring your own, or does your job provide them?
Here's the funny thing. Before this virus, I always had my own hand sanitizer, and I ran out right when the stuff got hot, and I can't find any of it anywhere.
If you go to Target in Forestville, they normally have it in stock now.
Oh. Now
like
that's
the good kind or the like the.
Oh no, it's the tiny bottles.
No, I mean like, is it still Purcell or?
Oh, I have no idea what it is.
well, I mean,
But it does the thing. It smells like alcohol.
family has ordered some. I just haven't taken it to work.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
know, but at my job they do have some supplied on the wall where you just
Oh, that's good.
so I gotta give it to my job. With all them filthy people, they have kind of stepped up a little bit. I give it to them.
Is it a hot warehouse?
But I mean, like, that's like
hot and cold.
Isn't that like the whole reason why this coronavirus spread in the first place?
Because of poor hygiene
Because
practices.
of how we are as Americans.
Ugh, gross. We just got hip to I thought for a very long time it was just a Japanese or Asian custom to take your shoes off, and then I found out India does it. I found a lot of African countries do it. Found out that actually some Western, Eastern European places do it, and then I found out why they do it, and it's just like, ugh, yeah, please take your shoes off when you come in the house, please. That's so much you're bringing in, so much that's been on the ground for so long too.
Yeah.
People who already have dirty hygiene are stepping over things that has been stepped on by those same people, dragged, carried.
Just think about when you go in public bathrooms. Just think about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time though, for a long time we had the habit of having a little mat in front of your door and wipe your feet. A lot of people don't even do that no more.
Yeah.
So it's like even a compromise we feel.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and then you look at like with Japan, right? It's like they already had the thing with they barely have trash cans in the street because it's like if you got trash or whatever, you're holding on to that junk until either you find one or until you get home. You're not littering, and in the streets. And then it's like if you're sick, you're expected to already have like a face mask. Like for a lot of people, this is like literally our first time wearing a face mask.
It's not gonna do anything. Why would I wear it if I'm already sick?
And because it's like to them, that's rude. You're on a public place, like on a train or whatnot. You're sneezing and coughing. That's really disrespectful. Which, when you think about it, that's not even being like germophobic. That's just the truth.
That's just being respectful.
And what's funny, speaking of trash cans, because I think about the fact a lot of people don't consider okay, let's talk about like where I live. Where I live is considered quote unquote the hood in a sense.
Yeah.
But consider this. I mean, I'm right across from Southeast, so it's like, but consider this. At that bus stop, or any bus stop around there, I look at the trash cans. Trash cans are full. Full to the point they're overflowing. Which shows you that people are willing to put trash in the trash can, but we don't have enough, I guess, policy. I don't know the word.
City workers.
Yeah, city workers to come and get it. And we don't have a culture about, like you say, taking the trash home or whatever. I'm going to tell you, I'm one of those people that get a special place in heaven because I do keep my trash on me till I get to a trash can.
Yeah.
Bro, just with me and Anna just seeing people throw away their PPE and whatnot on the ground and parking lots and stuff.
Just put it in your pocket.
In the carts, in like the shopping carts and whatnot. Bro, it's literally disgusting.
Like there's trash cans in the store. There's trash cans outside of the store. Why not put a trash bag in your car so that immediately when you come out, why don't you just adapt? Damn.
Americans ain't good at that.
Like that's literally the whole thing with this COVID.
Listen, these people that came up with the protesting with the guns never learned to cut their own hair. That's telling you something.
That's true, I guess.
I'm like, come
on. Man.
like you see, the people that were panicking, whatnot, just going buying everything.
Yeah.
The toilet paper still is
baffles me.
We've talked about it.
I know.
It was just so fucking crazy, bro.
It was the ultimate case of looking at everyone and say, "Are y'all serious?"
Right.
Like just looking at everyone, I'm like, of all the freaking diseases and viruses, this probably had the easiest damn solution.
Yes,
but nobody could do it.
whatnot. And it's like, bro, how are you protecting yourself by buying up all the hand sanitizer from everybody? Like, how is that protecting yourself?
I have no idea if the whole point is to stop spreading the virus and stop people from spreading the virus. But that's the thing. They only think of the first part. Stopping, well, not even spreading. They don't care about the spreading part, let's be honest. They care about the not getting it part.
See,
And
it comes down.
It doesn't matter about anybody
Yeah,
else.
it comes down to that sense of self. I don't know. I kind of blame America's whole notion of freedom.
Yeah.
Well, I say the notion of freedom because America's never really had this whole idea of community. Really, we say it, but no one really knows what that means. Like just like no one knows what love actually means. People don't really conceive words; they just spout it because it's repeated, and they say it because other people say it. And I just think about the fact that I'm like, golly, education has really failed in this country, like on so many levels. And because my mama said, who's a teacher, she said before, education's never been made a priority in this country.
Yeah.
And this definitely showed that between, like you said, people's terrible hygiene, people's selfishness, people's conspiracy theories, people's, I could go on.
Ignorance and unwilling to open their eyes or just read. Snopes is right there. Type in Snopes all the time.
Snopes, PolitiFact, fact checker.
Please. You had said something though, right? You had said America doesn't have what?
Well, has never made education priority?
Before that. You also said that America, it's like the same thing as in love. People talk about love, but they don't know.
Oh, we never really had this real sense of community.
Yes. That's the biggest flipping word. I hate to immediately go back to Japan, but most Asian countries, it's like it's my first time learning about it, and then and I'm talking about like almost pretty much a decade ago now when I learned about it, and then since then multiple countries have came up with this is the thing, this is the status quo to this day.
Yeah.
Of taking care of your elderly.
Yeah.
Like throwing them in senior center is the last most painful straw, and it hurts because that means they have no more family left to take care of them.
Yeah. And certain societies also take care of their mentally ill too.
Yeah, they
And
refuse
It's
to
a
leave them
dishonor
out there.
to leave them out there on the
That's
street.
your
And just think about the fact that how all these other countries dealt with this virus. They dealt with it. Even it started in China and they handled it better than us.
Yeah.
Like that's telling you something. Italy handled it a lot better. All these countries handled it better. And it's just like
They took it seriously.
they did.
And Italy had a cult.
Italy had it
Italians
bad.
culture. Yeah.
They had it really bad.
Like, we were looking at Italy like, yo,
There
bro.
was like going around just to bring it up.
And then just like in America, just like with America, we gotta outdo everybody.
Italy, they have the practices that a lot of countries do, but I'm focusing on them
I
because
can
what I
do
know about.
anything better.
Where they
Or
do
worse.
the kiss greeting. Like, they're like,
Oh yeah.
COVID-19 is going to stop me from doing our, traditional kiss greeting. But then they were like, okay, can't do it. No, this is bad. We can't do it. They were really like, no, you can't stop me from kissing my friends and family. And they were like, so week 2 of not doing the kiss greeting.
And
It's
also
like, just watching people greet each other and they're not like shaking hands or
Yeah.
anything. Now, like it's really weird and whatnot. Like I had somebody dap me up and I'm like, yo, you really dapping people up in the COVID?
Right? Don't touch me.
the closest we get at work is elbows.
Who did
We
I
do
hug?
maybe elbows, but most of the time we just wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you silly for hugging somebody.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I think it was it was when the family came for my birthday, and I gave a
that's
hug.
that's
yeah.
different.
But I hadn't seen some of them for like a little while.
Yeah.
So it was like, the hug is instinctual, but now it's like, I don't know if I do that.
But
half hug. Let's go.
But see, this also tells you. Let me tell you one thing I don't really tolerate is weakness, and I say this because one thing about this virus, it showed you how creative some people got and how cracked up others got. Like drive-in theaters become a thing again.
Yeah.
Drive-in concerts are now a thing.
I love
You
it.
had people dancing outside, making their own block parties where they dance outside their houses but in their own yards.
Yeah.
There was some place, I forgot in what country, where everyone, I think they were singing to each other at an apartment building.
Yeah, they
You
did
know-
it around the world. France did it.
Yeah,
Italy did it.
people
Germany
did like
did it.
these little chat videos where they handed each other a beer. Just got really creative. Like, okay, this is how we're gonna deal with this.
Yeah, there was DJs playing on the balconies for
Yep.
people in the apartment complex. Loved it. I forgot the DJ's name. I saw his name a couple of times, but pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, but then you had the other people buying up all the toilet paper, storming City Hall with AR bazookas and
Trashing-
AR-15s.
Trashing parking lots. Dude, storming City Hall. Yelling and spitting at. I don't. It's a curse word now, so I don't want to say it.
But we're getting into it,
Yeah,
though.
we'll
We're
get
getting
Let's
into
get
it.
into
Yeah,
it.
bro. Like literally, they were coming in
Fuck
with assault rifles.
12.
Like, yo, open up the state, and you had the police there, like, hey, John.
Exactly.
Fuming, pushing, shoving,
See-
pointing
see
in
you-
their face.
See you later. See you later today for the card game.
They pointed guns at their faces. They yanked and pulled and touched and talking about, oh, I wasn't disrespected.
Now,
It's
I
fine.
to this day I'm skeptical, but
That's right,
there's
must
an
like-
image.
What do you-
There's a photo of a guy in a fucking subway with a bazooka. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
there's no way that's damn legal. You're not
Why
gonna
is
tell me
that
that it's
legal?
legal.
Hold on.
It was pretty big.
I know it's legal to own a tank, but I'm not sure
Please
about
stop.
And a
I'm not-
flamethrower.
Yeah,
And a Gatling gun.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about a bazooka though. I have to look that up.
Aww. Sorry, cats.
Yeah, they're adorable.
So okay, so to kind of bring this back around, right before we
wanna
get
bring it
into
back?
like the
Because
next
I'm
part.
all
Yeah.
the way in.
So how did you feel like your creativity was affected during that period?
So
The I guess the first 2.5 months of the shutdown.
for me, honestly, it was really good for me actually. Because I just looked at it as like, well, guess what? Artists existed in other viruses and pandemics, and honestly, like I said,
In the fucking dark ages.
in the dark ages,
They were the reason for a renaissance.
exactly. And the thing is, I was actually mad being an essential. I mean, it was good. I was still making money. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, geez, I just want to stay home and paint. You know, I just want to stay home and write scripts and stuff. Like, I
Yes.
did get. I got 5 paintings done, and got quite a bit of cleaning done. So I did.
I helped you with that script.
Yeah, Neph Man helped me with a script. It's fun. I actually haven't been doing a lot of writing, which is a damn shame. But at the same time, it's like that's the thing. When one thing's absent, other things are present. So it's kind of like that scenario in a sense. Because let me tell you something. We're going to get into it, but there's been a lot of crap occupying my mind.
Yeah.
But like I said, creatively, I mean, it like I said, it's been easy to get things done because there's been more time. Like all my events are basically on hold. Can't go nowhere. Every film for the most part has been canceled. So I'm like, well, I don't have to rush to the film. So that gave me kind of peace of mind. I can really sit there and really develop and work on it.
So speaking on that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure one of the things that they said. There's a possibility those private independent film theaters might not make it.
Yeah.
And you said, I remember you was telling me you just started going, like either the end of last year or this year.
Yeah, well, I would say probably probably was probably the end of last year. I just found like, cause I've known about East Street Cinema and AFI, and honestly, they might be all right, but I came across this one called this was basically like a hole in the wall. Like it's basically a place that can only seat 50 people, but it was showing like older movies, and I remember and I mean just the environment was just so nice because they have a bar downstairs. It's real cool looking. It's a little lounge area.
Wait, what is it called?
I cannot remember right now. God, I think it's 7th. Is it 7th? I don't even remember.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a hole in the wall. Like you can literally walk past this place and not know it's a theater. Like it's like that.
Yeah, I don't think we've been there.
Yeah, you definitely have it because they've actually only been around for I think about 3 years. So which
I mean,
also explains why.
we do things and go places. It was like, oh yeah, not your kind.
Well, I say that because I'm like me, the movie person. Even I didn't know about this, so I'm like, yeah.
Well, okay, I thought that maybe they hosted like other events. Like I was thinking, like,
Oh,
maybe
no,
they
this
were
is
like
just-
a venue too.
Oh no, this is purely movies.
Because you remember the theater where we saw Game Grumps? What was that? That was probably was that the
neither.
Hamilton Theater? I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of those presidential, or not really presidential.
I was like, what?
Famous white people.
He was
Founding
mixed.
fathers. There we go. He was, yes. Founding fathers named the theaters. I know it wasn't. Or was it Ford? Was it the Ford Theater?
Was it the Ford Theater? I'm not sure now.
I don't know. No, either. I mean, it was nice.
There's a lot of theaters
Oh, that's
down there.
Cause I also started going to this bar restaurant that also shows movies too. So
What?
I had I went to both of these around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to East Street Cinema where I saw Parasite. The last movie I saw was an Ethiopian film called In Chain at AFI. So I was really making it a habit to go to like these private or off-kilter theaters.
Yeah, supporting them.
So and I figured I'm like, who knows, I could probably support in stronger ways, make a presence there. Then this happened. I'm hearing that these places are closing, and comic book stores are in danger. I'm just like, oh man. It's really. But at the same time, I say this can go two ways, because there might be after this is over, there could also be a resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had said something close to it that made me think that thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just reminded me. There is a loss of a lot of big name brands.
Yeah.
They don't think they're going to recover. I mean, let's be honest. The millennials are killing so many industries anyway.
We are too.
But with
Well, we are millennials.
yeah,
I'm thinking
is
Gen Z.
Yeah, they are killing it too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they had several businesses that were for the past couple of years, I guess for the past decade, that were slowly losing money and probably aren't going to survive.
Mhm.
And it's just like, well, excuse me, that means that we didn't need them anymore, right? These are things that previous generations liked, and as far as them being novelty stores, they can exist, but is that the reason why we have antique shops? These things that used to exist don't really find a use for anymore, so we put them in the antique shops. A lot of these businesses are becoming antiques to us because we aren't the same as Gen Zers and Gen Xers, and our interest from Gen Xers and Boomers and the silent generation, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, vastly different. I mean, come on, we grew up in the media age,
Yeah.
the booming, explosive internet age.
Yeah.
So of course it's gonna be, we have different interests and themes, but then it was just like, well, you know what that means, right? That means more black owned shit. That
Yeah.
means more PLC owned shit.
Mm-hmm.
That means that those stores that were not niche, but they were like, they cornered the market. They can't survive anymore. Mom and pops are resurging.
Yeah.
It was about Walmart. Walmart had said the thing, we won't open stores where police aren't present, and people were like, oh good, mom and pop shops can finally get their careers back.
Yeah.
I want that. I love mom and pop shops.
And that's what I said, because I also said that, big
Also-
theaters.
I love the prices of Walmart though, and I can't tell you, but the food is so cheap.
But
I'm not
it's,
these damn kids.
but also because they were talking about how theaters are in danger, and it's like, yes, but also I think people are going to have a drive to go to the theater more after the fact too.
Yeah.
So
That too.
and I was thinking, I'm like, it would probably be very smart if a lot of these theaters start showing older movies or re-releasing certain things.
Yeah. Especially, it would be amazingly smart for the movies that wasn't able to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, they did straight to digital releases, and mind you, a lot of the movies that did digital releases, like they did streaming releases. Trolls, the second movie, third movie, I don't know. Trolls blew everybody out the water. They made millions back on
Mhm.
first day of streaming, like one day, not one weekend of streaming, one night of streaming. They made millions of dollars, and it was just such a massive success that a lot of other studios, they were like, streaming release, and it's been doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be great. People still want the movie going experience. Of course,
Yeah.
it's a sociable thing to do. It's to go out of your house, see something you like, put it back when everything's over, and we're finally able to open up theaters again. Put those movies that missed theater release, put them in theater. You're gonna have a bunch of people flocking to get the authentic theater experience.
Also, I will hope that during all this downtime with movies, people become better writers too.
Yeah.
I mean,
read your work for a little
what people, and that's the thing. I ain't gonna get too much in the movie industry, but that's what they fail to understand. A lot of people thinking like, superhero movies only saving movies because they're spectacle. It's like because they're competing with poorly written crap that most people don't want to see. It's not that people don't like variety. I mean, that's what made movies great back in the day, but it's the fact that there's just a lot of crap that just isn't that well written or interesting. I'm thinking, considering how the Star Wars sequels didn't do as well as The Force Awakens, and because of how the sequel was well received, and honestly, me personally, I've been getting tired of the Marvel movies, and I think some other people have. So it's like, kind of need other stuff in theaters. That's what draws people. But at the same time, I feel like maybe with all this economic issues, budgets will also become smaller again, which will make people do more low budget films and therefore more interesting films. I hate to break it to you, low budget creates creativity.
Talking about Star Wars, motherfucking John Boyega.
John
The
Boy
hero.
Yeager.
Yo, no, that's gonna be the intro into the Black Lives Matter movie.
Yeah.
Yo,
Block.
For anybody,
Moses.
Yeah. So catch us on part 2 to this episode.
Nani?
I can't believe. Well, no, I can't believe. Like I said, a lot of stuff, man, that we just wanted to say, especially with the coronavirus.
We literally forget that we almost got into World War III.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Oh well, I guess I can insert real quick because mine's pretty quick.
Oh yeah, or Kim Jong-un faking his death.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Speaking of which, did you know North Korea just bombed something like a shared province with South Korea?
Oh no.
India might be just got in a gunfight with China.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I gotta go look this stuff up.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, man, it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it off. I guess the COVID it hit my mental art state because that's so tied to me. I have time to draw. This is my job. I'm a full-time artist.
Yeah.
So I love that, but it hit me so hard that I slowed down on stuff. But slowing down on the work aspect kind of had me fall back on my inner child. Like, what will make me as an artist happy right now? Because I am not happy. So I did a bunch of character designs for stories that we're really passionate about. Wave after wave, just pumping them out, and I'm just so happy for that because it was like I needed that reconnect. And
and definitely with me, it's like I wanted to use that time. Oh, sorry, I thought you were
no,
done.
go ahead.
You sure?
Mhm.
I thought you were done.
No, I was.
You were.
No.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
I don't even know what the next "and" was. And I don't know. Go ahead.
You sounded like you were done.
I was done, but I mean.
You're done now. But no. And then I was right there next to her while she was creating those characters, coming up with stories, doing the character profiles and stuff. So yeah, through the COVID, like I said, I still been working. I share the same sentiments with MDC, where kind of wish that I was at home but still getting paid.
Yeah.
To be able to work on more stuff, because it's like normally when it's really low, you can bring in your laptop to work, and I would get work done that way. But it was like every freaking day, despite us having like 5 or 6 people in the building, besides us, my manager would just come in every freaking day. So it's like I definitely couldn't be able to do it. It was way too hot. But
I want to say, and coping. That was my last.
Coping.
Coping. Yeah, like the falling back on my inner child and just like finding, doing what I like to do again for art. Mind you, it really sucks that I slowed down on commission work, but ultimately, that's mental health, bro. It's cathartic. Yeah, I really needed it during COVID when worrying about the school and their the homework. and wondering if they're gonna go back to school. How's next year gonna go? I have a middle schooler now. How is that gonna transition for him? I have a 4-year-old
Yeah,
into
that's
school
true.
space. So needed to cope with this.
Whoa, he's in middle school?
Yeah, he's a middle
Holy
schooler now.
crap. Oh, man.
No, bruh, a decade.
Whew. So, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a whole new territory for them, though.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They maybe try to understand, and it's like I try not to worry too much about the future because I know that it's in, it's taken care of. It's gonna be okay. But that doesn't mean that I can tell myself that stop being scared and I stop being scared.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of working through it day by day. Art helped a lot.
Yeah, and I guess on
And
that,
reading.
yeah, it's like, I mean, like I said, on one hand, I was just barely affected because, like I said, being an essential. But one time I was out for a week at work, which I think was helpful. I don't even remember that week. But like I said, it's still going on, and I can say there's a lot of things. We're gonna get into the next episode. There's a lot of things that have been breaking down those barriers in my head, and COVID. I keep saying that. COVID definitely.
That's real weird.
I was wondering all episode because it's like you were saying COVID, but then you would say COVID. So it's like, okay, he knows the right way to say it. So why is he saying it the wrong way?
I don't know. I've heard it said so many different ways. It just, I don't know. But I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where you just have to look at your place in the matter and say, this is happening, but I'm all right. Most of the people know all right. Things are generally all right. Like, I got to say, a lot of good things have actually happened to me because of this virus, like especially financially, because I don't have money going nowhere, and that plus the stimulus and other stuff. So financially, it's been beneficial. Artistically, it's been beneficial. So I can't really complain. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'm hoping for the best for, everyone else mostly,
Yeah.
Yeah. And well wishes out to you guys. I hope you guys stay safe. Wash your hands. Please keep wearing your mask. It's just so important.
Keep
because
your
there's
distance.
Mask on. Keep them mask on.
There's just so many people's lives that you don't know that you could affect. And it's just so simple as just keep the mask on for a little while longer when you go out.
I have a strong saying.
Please stop littering.
Yes.
I don't think our viewers are litterers, but I mean, just in case you accidentally slip up.
If you see someone littering, beat their ass.
I was this close to doing it one time, but Addison called his parents, and I'm just like, you're so lucky, Grandma and Grandpa on the phone. I ain't gonna show violence. They don't have to hear this violence, but I was.
Well, it's like I say, my old saying. I'm like, remember that everything you do affects another 5 people, and everything they do affects another 5 people. That's just how it is.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in part 2, where we talk about because it has to be talking. It has to be talked about.
Yeah, we're gonna stay silent on this.
Black lives matter.
Yeah.
Period.
There's no compromising.
Peace.
Bye.